Hello, I wanted to take a few minutes and go over some tips for our unit test that will hopefully help you in your part creation and modification. All right, the first one is sometimes when you look at a drawing, and I'm just going to use part two as an example. Um, you know all the information, but it may not be exactly clear exactly how to use it. One of the things that I'm going to point out here is as I look at part two and as I look at the variations thereof, you can see that my edges, my corners, my whatever changes. So you probably want to figure out a way to modify um, these various elements in order to get the part right in terms of its size. So you may want to think about how do you do certain things. So first thing is we do have the concept of global variables. So we can see we have A, B, and C labeled in the drawing. We have A, B, and C that changes from question to question. So you're definitely going to want to use this in some way, shape, or form. Now, when you do that, what I would suggest that you would do is go ahead and come to SolidWorks. And as you start your part, first off, definitely make sure that you are in the proper units. I am not. That's a good tip as well. So I'm going to start with that before I do anything. Because if I change it in the middle of a sketch, it closes me out. So I have to go back in. The next thing I want to do is I want to, so there are two ways to create your equations. You can go into tools and go to equations. And at this point, you would say A is equal to, I'm going to look one more time because I didn't look before I came over here, 55. Got 55, 35, and 136. Which I will go ahead and go back here, and A is 55. Um, I'm going to leave that one as the only one I create that way. I'm going to go ahead and go to my front plane and start my sketch. And one of the things I will do is I'm going to go ahead and get my center point arc. I will start my arc, come out to one side, and draw it. If it doesn't go the right way, okay, you can also take it the other. And I'm going to smart dimension this. I'm going to have this equals. Remember to use equals. If you don't start with equals, it will only use the global variable one time. You need to start with equals so that it changes. Okay. It should have the little icon next to it. Now, my other thing that I can do is I can take my second arc. So I'll come in here and draw my second arc. And I am going to smart dimension it. And when I do so, I can type equals B. Now, there's a little global variable icon there that I can click, or I can push enter. I'll show you that in a few minutes. And I can actually create it right here. So I can put a center line in. And you might want to think about how you can do this where you can create half of what you need, but you can actually dimension to the end of only what you need. So what I mean by that is I can smart dimension. Oh, sorry, I have to draw the line first. I'm going to draw a line out here and then up and then over. As I smart dimension, if I dimension from here to the center line and pull to the opposite side, this is where I can do something like equals C, and it'll ask me, do I want to create it? And I'll say yes. And this was 136. Basically, that's a little trick to kind of measure to nowhere. Um, and then I'm going to actually use mirror entities. Entities to mirror. I want this, this, and this. And I want to mirror it about this line. Get a little preview there. And we get what we need. And we're going to trim. We're We're going to trim that section out. So I'm going to exit my sketch. When I extrude this, I'm going to make sure that I do a mid-plane extrude. And I believe it's 54. And I get this from reading the drawings. The diameter of this, if this was a full circle, would be 54 millimeters. So you got to read what they say. And so that would be 54 right there. Now, the first thing I would do as I move from question to question, so I'm moving from question one to question two. I see that my equations change. Literally, the first thing to do is to go in SolidWorks, and it is to either where it says equations. You can always double click, check what your equations are by dropping that down. But if you right click and go to manage equations, it's a shortcut to this. So you can then change your values, and the values are now going to be 56, 38, and 150. Okay, so 56, 38, and 150. Okay, and if you noticed, the part was actually changing as I was typing those. So I literally could see those happen. If I want to double check that things have changed, I can double check my mask properties and my number will have changed. This cut is something that some people had some problems with. And I just want to show you the easiest way to do this if you didn't do it this way. First off, one of the things that you sometimes will do is you're going to not draw on the face that you see. You're going to draw on a face behind it. So if I look at my front plane, because I did a mid-plane extrude, my front plane is in the middle. So I'm going to sketch on there, even though I'm looking at the front of this. I'm going to use, I now have that shape. And you'll notice it's in the center, which the cool part about that being in the center now is I can now extrude, cut mid-plane, just like I did before. And if I remember correctly, this is 20. So there we go. For this tip, I made up a real quick part here with a little stem sticking out. And I am going to use this to go over some of the settings for circular pattern. Circular pattern's a very helpful tool and one that's necessary in one of your particular parts. So the feature circular pattern lives under linear pattern. Okay, circular pattern. So the first thing that it asks you for is for a direction. Now, if I had multiple circular features on this face, I could pick any of the circles that go in the direction where I want to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this outside edge. It does also define your center point, so do be careful when you select it, but that is what's going on. All right, so you have two different options here after you pick the edge: instant spacing or equal spacing. In instant spacing, you give it how many degrees of difference between the two and how many of them you want. Equal spacing says under 360 degrees, it doesn't matter what the size is from one to the next. I just want in all the way around, I want there to be a certain number of them. Okay. And you can use either one. But a lot of times you'll be told the distance or the angle between two of them. So that's something to use to your advantage. Like if I put in 20 degrees, these posts are now 20 degrees apart. And as I increase my number, it just keeps adding them 20 degrees apart until I add one that's really kind of not on, that might add, but I'm going to go ahead and decrease that. Now, just as a little side note, you can see that if what I was trying to do was put these across this entire face, I have the center one here. So that I don't have to do like a mirror or something like that, I can apply direction 2 with the same settings. So I can do instant spacing. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just click symmetric and it'll just go. Okay. Or if maybe this wasn't perfectly symmetric, maybe this edge cut off earlier, what I can do is I can match my number of degrees and then change the number of instances. For example, if this was a horizontal cutoff, I might only be able to get 3 or 4 in there. Um, Sorry, going the wrong way. But I'd have to look at it individually. The features, it picked the feature that I had. And the rest of this, at this point, we don't necessarily work with, but these are really, really handy. And again, when you look at your drawing, which of these options you use will tell you. I would use equal spacing when I have a full circle, and I just have a number of instances, and I don't necessarily have an angular distance between them. Okay, a degrees dimension between them. If I have a degrees dimension between them, then it's usually easier to do the instance spacing, put in that number of degrees, and then just count up however many I need. Or sometimes it'll actually call out how many of them you need. But this direction to symmetric is also really, really handy as something that you may or may not need on your test, but just in general is a handy thing with for as we look at circular patterns. So I'm going to click that again just to get that. We'll go ahead and finish the feature so you can see what it looks like as I look at it from the front. Okay, I now have these features all the way across. And again, if I cut off here, if I cut off this horizontally, I could decrease the number of those, or if they just stopped for whatever reason. But that's a little quick thing on circular pattern and its settings.